From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the daily news for May 29th, 2026. And these are the stories we are covering at this hour. A Canadian man expected to plead guilty to selling lethal substances to people who killed themselves. A Canadian man accused of selling lethal substances online to people who took them to end their own lives is expected to plead guilty Friday to 14 counts of counseling or aiding suicide, his lawyer said. Kenneth Law is scheduled to appear in Newmarket, Ontario court to enter the plea, and sentencing is expected to take place later. Canadian prosecutors will withdraw 14 murder charges in exchange for Law's plea, his lawyer, Matthew Gourlay, said. Police in Canada and around the world have been investigating more than 100 suicides linked to Law. All charges against him in Canadian court are related to 14 people across Ontario who were between the ages of 16 and 36. Canadian police said Law, from the Toronto area, used a series of websites to market and sell sodium nitrite, a substance commonly used to cure meats that can be deadly if ingested. Law is suspected of sending at least 1,200 packages to more than 40 countries, with about 160 of those allegedly sent to addresses in Canada, police said. He has been in custody since his arrest at his Mississauga, Ontario home in May 2023. In other news, former Iowa superintendent to be sentenced for claiming to be a U.S. citizen before likely deportation. The former superintendent of Iowa's largest school district is set to learn Friday how long he will be in prison for falsely claiming to be a U.S. citizen and illegally possessing firearms. He would serve his sentence before he is likely deported. Ian Roberts, a native of Guyana in South America, pleaded guilty in January to both counts, which together carry a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. His lawyers are proposing that he be put on probation to facilitate his removal from the United States, but federal prosecutors are recommending he serve 37 months, just over 3 years in prison, according to court documents. Prosecutors alleged Roberts knowingly lacked employment authorization for nearly all of his 2-decade career in urban education and submitted a counterfeit Social Security card when he was hired as superintendent of the Des Moines Public School District, which serves 30,000 students. Turning to news from New York, Zohran Mamdani is backing progressive House challenger in New York. During an MS Now interview on Thursday, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, the Democrat, threw his backing behind progressive House challenger Darya-Liza Avila Chevalier in a competitive primary for an Upper Manhattan congressional district. An organizer and Democratic Socialist, Avila Chevalier, is hoping to unseat incumbent Democratic Representative Adriano Espalé, whom she's called out for accepting donations from the real estate industry and voting for military aid to Israel. It will take a new generation of leadership to ensure that the heartbeat of this party is once again the struggles of the working class, and in electing a champion like Darya-Liza to represent uptown Manhattan and the Bronx, who could have exactly that in Congress, Mamdani said on Thursday. And finally, in Pennsylvania news, a Pennsylvania man is accused of tearing down his home with an excavator after his wife says our marriage is over. Police say a Butler County man snapped after his wife told him their marriage was over, then climbed into an excavator and started to demolish the family home while she and their 2 daughters were still inside. Eric I'm guessing on this, Pierschwa, age 48, allegedly used a Kubota excavator to rip apart the rear of the family's home. Investigators say the damage was so severe that there are concerns about the home's structural integrity. Police say the incident unfolded Tuesday morning on Martin Road in Buffalo Township. I'd like to know what she said to him because I'll make sure I don't say it, a neighbor said. 42 years I've been married, but I've never threatened to tear the house down. According to the criminal complaint, Pierschwa's wife told police that her husband arrived at the family's home after drinking all night and began arguing with her. Just wondering, did Melania Trump say the same thing to Donald, and that's why the White House East Wing is no more? That's the news for this hour. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, Alexa, fmstream.org, and wherever you find streaming radio. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.